getting a goal, then...
Oh, you're looking at the table.
I was, yeah.
You know, that's the way they're going to go about it. Thierry, do you think that's the case?
I keep on saying, and I will not change my tune. Well, if it's in the Champions League, when you guys were telling me that we are top of the league phase, that we are top of the league, let's see where we're going to be at the end of the season. I will not go higher or lower. Then at the end, we can talk about what's been done or not done. I will not change my tune.
Who would you rather see win the league, Arsenal or City?
I think I would rather...
Not you.
No, listen, I think I'd probably rather see Arsenal win it, because I think it's good for a league to have different winners. So that would mean the Premier League would have had 3 different winners in the last 3 years, which I think is probably good for the league. But what I don't want is a team, unless it's my own team, obviously, to run away with the league, and the league's got nothing. So I'm glad of that result tonight. You know, because I think it makes it exciting. It gives us things to talk about, and, you know, stories between now and the end of the season.
The North London Derby.
Yeah, that makes it more of a game now, doesn't it? There's more, you know, focus on that. So, yeah, and I think that's really good for the, you know, the Premier League, that. But you two don't seem to agree.
We need to go to a break, Kate. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Who do you want to see win, Kate? Oh.
I don't particularly have a preference. I guess I'd say Arsenal, since we haven't seen them win it for a while. I'd be happy for Thierry, for Mikey, you know, my good friends. Why not? But no strong preference.
Kylie, when I say run the break, you're supposed to run the break.
Let's move on, because the next game for Arsenal is, of course, against Spurs. How are you looking ahead to that one?
It looks after itself. That's the good thing about it. But they've got... The problem is, if Man City go and beat Newcastle before... It's 2 points. 2 points, same games. They're playing 2 London derbies coming up against their 2 biggest rivals in London, in Tottenham and Chelsea. The momentum swings completely the other way. Completely. You could say London derby, North London derbies go out the window. You know, it's just that game. It don't matter if you're top of the league or 15th or wherever. It's a leveller. New manager comes in. He'll have them running around, running through brick walls. And Arsenal ain't playing well enough to, in my opinion, to blow Tottenham away. And I think this will go down. I really think this league title race will go down to whoever plays first in the Premier.
Well, after that draw, this is where Arsenal are currently in the Premier League table, still top of the table, 5 points clear of Manchester City, but of course have played that game extra and they're still yet to face each other as well, which comes on to the next point of the remaining fixtures. We're finally at that stage of the season now where we can get all of the fixtures onto the same page. But in terms of what's to come compared to Manchester City, how do you see this?
You know, it's all about... Football's all about timings. You play teams at certain times in the league, do you know what I mean? Like, you could look down here at West Ham, they're 18th in the league. But that might be their game, that they're fighting for survival, or they might... have won 5 on the trot and they're middle of the table and they're safe and they're on holiday. You just don't know with the timings of the games. Like Aston Villa could already be in the top 4, cemented, might be in the Europa final, and they're done. Do you know what I mean? And that game's not as hard as what it looks on paper. So it's difficult. You know, I always look at the next 2. Arsenal have got Chelsea and Tottenham. They are 2 very difficult games. More so, no disrespect to Newcastle and Leeds. You take Newcastle and Leeds over Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah,
start with.
Yeah, and I think Mace is exactly right. And I know we're going to go on to another slide in a minute, but the big thing I always go off is past experiences and how teams finish. And we know how Manchester City finish. I know we're going to show something in a minute, but we know how they finish. We know how Pep Guardiola finishes, and this obviously shows what we're talking about now. And he is an absolute monster at finishing strong, Pep Guardiola. And that's what I go off. I go off experiences, and I keep mentioning about Man City being sat at home, but they'll be sat at home now looking at this going, yeah, this is a bit of us. So, yeah, we look at this here and how they finish seasons. It's unbelievable the way they do it.
Yeah, this is just demonstrating the amount of points won by both Arsenal and Manchester City over the last 4 Premier League seasons in the last 12 games. Of course, different teams. You can argue whether Manchester City have got the same team as what they've had the last couple of seasons. But when you look at that, you speak about the experience. They're going to need to get this momentum, aren't they? Because they don't want the same thing to happen where City are having such a strong end to the season and Arsenal can't keep up.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Arsenal's shoes if it happens again. I mean, I was quite shocked with the interview of Arteta then. First time, really, I've seen him not majorly positive. Do you know what I mean? Usually he comes out, you know, we've done this, we've done that, and he's saying, oh, we deserve the hit, we deserve the hit. You know, instead of coming out and going, we're 5 points clear, as long as we don't get beat by Man City, we go same as them, we win the league. Wasn't like that. Even he was a bit, I was a bit worried with that interview. Even he's finding it now and he's thinking, wow, you can only do to the team so much. And when you're watching that, there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing. And if I had to highlight something, I would highlight what Marnie did to the three lads. Madueke, Martinelli, Saka. He brings the ball down and he just literally turns away from them. First half or 7, 9, 10 games ago, they take the ball off him and they're up the pitch and it's a counter-attack. Something's missing. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes if they don't win the league this year, because if they ain't winning the league this year, you know, I remember Patrick Vieira saying before the Man United game when he was on with Roy Keane, he said now or never. And I'm starting to think now. I was very bullish about Arsenal winning the league. That's half scared me tonight.
If you're playing that dressing room tonight and you're looking ahead to the next couple of games, of course, you've got Northern and Derby coming up at the weekend. How important is the reaction now?
It's important for leaders within the dressing room. I know there's a lot of leaders in that dressing room. Bukayo obviously come out and spoke. We've also got Gabriel, Saliba, obviously Odegaard behind the scenes now as well, being injured. It's about leaders stepping forward, about leaders standing up strong, going in tomorrow, wiping the floor with it, going, right, that's gone now. The next one is the big one, which is a big one for Arsenal. It's absolutely massive. And then after that, there's another big one. So we're talking about 2 massive ones coming up for Arsenal now. And it's important they dust themselves down, they get themselves going, they look at where they went wrong tonight, because I think a lot's gone wrong tonight for Arsenal. And really put it to bed then for Sunday, because, like I said, 2 real big games coming up.
OK, well...
Mikel, in honesty, does that feel self-inflicted tonight?
Yeah, it's very tough to accept it, but yeah, the second half we didn't perform at any level in any aspect of the game at the standards that are required to win a game in the Premier League, and we pay the price.
Do you understand why? I mean, I know it's only a few minutes after the game.
There was too many things that went wrong. It was one after the other, basically, and we never got any dominance or control of the game. We scored the second one goal and it's still there. So it's better not to judge it. We are all too emotional about it, and it's not the moment to do it. It's a moment when you don't perform and you are at this level and expectations are where they are. Is now you have to take the hit because as well we deserve it.
I remember you saying after the Manchester United game, this is a moment for being close to the players, almost for looking after them. Would you reiterate that message now? Would you feel a bit differently tonight?
No, exactly the same. And there is not. It's very easy now when you're emotion to start to say things that can damage the team, and that's the ultimate and the worst decision that you can make, because everybody wants to do their best. Nobody questions that. Today we're at the level, at the races, and at the standards that are required. And when you do that, and you want to be at this level, you have to take the hits.
You also spoke after that Manchester United game about enjoying the situation, the position that you've worked really hard to get in. Do you still have a sense that the players aren't doing that right now? You're not enjoying the position you've earned?
But the enjoyment comes from moments of suffering as well. If you believe that you come to any ground in the Premier League and you don't have to go through tough periods, that's not the reality. So enjoyment comes as well from those moments when you're not at the best. Okay, get through and find a way to do that. And today, at the end, in the last minute, we pay the price.
And when you're talking about things missing, are you talking about application, effort, those sorts of... It's more quality, is it?
None of that. I've never seen that in this team. There are many other aspects that you have to do. Very basic things, simple things, much better than we've done if you want to really dominate the game and bring the margins that there should be between the 2 teams.
Yeah, talking of margins, are you concerned in general, over the course of a few games now, that when you're getting into dominant positions, like 2-0 tonight, the Brentford game, the Man United game, you're getting into these strong positions and then you're letting teams back in? Has that been going on for a little while now?
Depends, because against Leeds it didn't happen. But whatever it says or judge on, you have to accept it, because today we need to be very critical with ourselves. In the second half, it wasn't good enough, that's clear.
What about the form in general, Mikel? It's 2 wins in 7, starting with that Liverpool game. Is that a concern, or have you seen enough good bits in and around it, some of the cup performances, to not be too concerned?
Well, in the league, that's the numbers and that's the reality, that we haven't been as consistent as we've been in the first few months. If you put the cups in between, that's a different story. So yeah, whatever the stats say now, when you don't perform at the level that is required, you have to accept them.
How big a test is it ahead now for the whole club, but for you, for the team, to get this title challenge back on track? You're top, of course.
Now you have to stand up when they have a moment of difficulty, and we feel really frustrated with ourselves. You have the perfect game against the Spurs away to go and show how much we want it and how good we are. That's it. That's what we have to do. Talk on the pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get some reaction then. From a Wolves perspective, let's hear from the manager, Rob Edwards. He's with Patrick Davison.
Well, Rob, it hasn't been easy. So how special a moment was that for you and your players?
Yeah, it was a great moment. It was a good night for the football club. It was only a draw, but to come back from 2-0 down against one of the best teams in Europe is it's a pretty special result for us and a really good performance as well.
What does it show?
It shows that we're